Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring him clean, string him up and put them to dry on the clothesline. On October 1st, Prime Minister Modi returned from the United States to kick off his Swachh Bharat Abhiyan the very next day. While Modi took to the streets with a broom, he also nominated 9 other people to do the same. And so we got to see pictures like this and footage of Anil Ambani sweeping a road with the intensity and technique of a man who has never ever swept anything in his life. Row, row, row your boat. Nice technique, like rowing, Anil. Still, if India's celebrities were willing to get down and dirty to earn some goodwill with the Prime Minister, one of Modi's ministers went even further. Shripad Naik, the Minister of State for Culture and Tourism, organized a cleanliness drive as part of Modi's Swachh Bharat initiative. But that's not what we meant when we said he went further. Since the venue had already been cleaned for his appearance, he had workers dirty it again so he could get a photo op, as reported in the Hindu newspaper. Now that's clean politics. Speaking of cleaning, last time on Clothesline, we promised to take Zee News' coverage of Rajdeep Sardesai's New York scrap to the cleaners. The video of the incident made it clear that Rajdeep was the first to raise his hand on the gentleman called Mahendra Reddy, who incidentally hasn't got back to us for an interview. Kya yaar, you agreed to talk to Zee, but not to us. We sent you a request. Modi bailing on us we can expect, but even Modi Bhakts, get in touch. We'd like to put your side of the story up as well. So there was Mahendra's side and Rajdeep's side of the story. But the one that got the most airtime was Zee's side of the story. Rajdeep's side said that he was pushed around and someone from the mob behind him even kicked him, while Mahendra's side said he was abused first. And then Zee said Rajdeep and his wife have risen in journalism because of cronyism, nepotism and corruption. Naturally, because that's what the story was about.
मैं यहाँ पर ये जरूर कहना चाहूँगा कि चाहे कोल स्कैम रहा हो या इससे पहले एक और चैनल के एक एंकर जो सांठगांठ कर रहे थे एक बड़े नेता से, वो टेप हो या ये हो, कई बार सच जो है वो बड़ा इनकन्वीनियंट होता है, लेकिन हम हमेशा कोशिश ये रखते हैं कि सच कितना भी कड़वा हो लेकिन दिखाना उसको जरूरी होता है.
And this is being said by सुधीर चौधरी.
सुधीर जी 20 से 25 हो तो मालिक कहते हैं कोई बात नहीं, चलो इतना डर. 20 से 100 यार 5 टाइम्स.
एक्चुअली 20 कभी था नहीं, 20 कभी था. वो इन्होंने सबसे पहले आते यही बात
ये कहा कि 20 करोड़ रुपए कर दो जी.
मीटिंग के पहले भी यही बात थी. साहब सुनने में देखा था बोलते हैं ये आई डोंट नो द अमाउंट व्हिच आई ऑलवेज पर एनम में मान सकता हूं. पर एनम ये फिगर पर एनम
Corruption in journalism? Now, in a story like this, one tries to establish context and report different sides. But Zee News knows that it's the action that draws the eyeballs, so they just ran this.
सबसे पहले राजदीप ने उस शख्स के साथ अपशब्दों का प्रयोग किया. जवाब में राजदीप को भी अपशब्द मिले. इन अपशब्दों से नाराज राजदीप ने इस शख्स पर हाथ उठा दिया.
Now that's journalistic. But hey, we live in a time where channels are desperate for TRPs. So are we truly surprised Zee News decided to sensationalize the event as much as possible? No. Still, things only got worse.
सवाल ये उठता है कि क्या किसी पत्रकार को दूसरे देश में जाकर 125 करोड़ की जनता की नुमाइंदगी कर रहे प्रधानमंत्री का मजाक उड़ाने का नैतिक अधिकार है? क्या विदेश में हुई इस घटना को एंटी नेशनल नहीं कहा जाएगा?
This incident raised a lot of questions in our minds, but that is certainly not one. A journalist cannot be critical of the Prime Minister, really? Because the last Prime Minister was a sitting duck during open season? Okay, Zee News, journalistic ethics do not allow for that, but they do allow for this.
राजदीप सरदेसाई और उनकी पत्नी सागरिका घोष का पत्रकारिता के क्षेत्र में विकास उनकी योग्यता से ज्यादा उनके रिश्तेदारों और पारिवारिक पृष्ठभूमि का नतीजा रहा है.
What wonderfully high standards. Really classy. Dragging someone's family into the mudslinging, especially when they have nothing to do with the incident.
भारत में राजदीप और सागरिका से 1000 गुना ज्यादा योग्य और ईमानदार लोग कामयाबी के उस मुकाम तक नहीं पहुंच पाए हैं जहां पर आज राजदीप और सागरिका खड़े हैं.
Hey Zee, why not drag their kids into it too? But even Zee knows that would be a step too far. So they settled for his sasurji.
राजदीप और सागरिका घोष दिल्ली के एक अंग्रेजी अखबार में काम करते थे और उस अंग्रेजी अखबार को दूरदर्शन के तत्कालीन महानिदेशक भास्कर घोष ने परोक्ष रूप से बहुत लाभ पहुंचाया था। उस फायदे के बदले में अंग्रेजी अखबार ने सागरिका और राजदीप सरदेसाई को रातों रात बड़ा पद दे दिया था।
This is journalism, slander passed off a fact. That's like me telling you that Z News was caught on camera trying to extract money from Jindal to suppress footage implicating Jindal companies in the coal block scam without backing it up with the footage. But hey, that would make us as bad as them. So, here it is.
इसको कैसे करेंगे, ठीक कैसे करेंगे जो इमेज खराब हो गई इस मीडिया?
जो सबसे क्रिटिकल है इसमें आपके वाले में मैं बता रहा हूँ कि देन देयर इज फर्दर डैमेज। वो जो फर्दर डैमेज है ना वो रुक जाएगा।
मतलब हम इसमें डीएनए की बात कर रहे हैं और सब कवर है ना, जी के सारे चैनल डीएनए वगैरह।
According to that clip, Z News may have tried to profit by suppressing scam footage, but that didn't stop them from doing this.
राजदीप सरदेसाई ने कांग्रेस पार्टी और कांग्रेस की सरकारों से अपनी नजदीकियां बढ़ाई। कैश फॉर वोट कांड की याद भी देश के लोगों के जहन में अभी भी है कि स्टिंग ऑपरेशन को दिखाए जाने के समय की घोषणा करने के बाद वो पीछे हट गए थे।
Oof. Now, even though Z News had already decided that Rajdeep was the guilty party, they tried to get to the bottom of things by hunting down Mahendra Reddy, the man attacked by Sardesai, for more damning revelations.
I'm just another regular guy. To a large extent, I think the crowd was very positive. He was the only one who resorted to physical assault, and he assaulted me first. He started the verbal abuse, and he started the physical assault.
Now, that's a thorough investigation. Still, that's only one side of the story. Did Z News even once show footage of the crowd doing this? Or mention this Facebook post that went viral where one Yogesh Tibrawal claimed to have hit Rajdeep on the sly? Or mention that the same user disabled the account immediately after? No! Because that wouldn't have served their narrative. But sadly, that is the nature of news. And Z is not the only one who does this. Let's be honest, everyone shows visuals and edits interviews to push their agenda. The problem is when you, the viewer, say that it's objective, when it agrees with your view, and when it doesn't, it's paid media. ठीक है. Yes, there is compromised media and everyone has biases. You should just know what you're being served. Nothing wrong with butter chicken. But it's not healthy to pretend it's a green salad. अब you'll say कि अपनी बिरादरी को protect कर रही है. Some of you have commented, blood is thicker than water. अब even Z is अपनी बिरादरी. Now you'll say, Arun Puri is my brother. But even Subhash Chandra is my brother, भाई. Now you'll say how? And I'll say, media में सब भाई है ना, समझे? Then there was the matter of Jayalalitha's bail plea. Unfortunately for Amma and her supporters, this happened as reported by all channels.
The bail plea for Jayalalitha has been rejected.
तमिलनाडु की पूर्व सीएम जयललिता को फिलहाल जेल में ही रहना पड़ेगा।
Karnataka High Court has refused bail to Jayalalitha.
Well, almost all channels.
It is a huge relief for Jayalalitha and the AIADMK. Take us to what's happening around you.
Great job, Times Now. Always first with the news, even if it's wrong. But you got it wrong first. Could you have possibly chosen more misleading archived footage to run with your already misleading story? So how did Times Now get it so wrong? Simple. By jumping the gun based on positive sounds made by Jayalalitha's lawyer, because who has time for judges and their silly verdicts when you're fighting to be first? They say no news is good news, but for Jaya's supporters, wrong news was great news.
Con los terroristas.
They do the Harlem shake.
We got so lost in the coverage surrounding Modi's America visit, we missed out on the coverage surrounding something every bit as momentous, India's successful Mars mission. We were looking forward to the coverage not just because it was a proud moment for India, but also because we were hoping to see this.
India's Mars satellite Mangalyaan. This satellite will talk to Earth, talk to scientists in ISRO.
Remember that? Baker Bangla brings bagels. But Pallav decided to ditch his chef baker outfit this time and went with a more conventional look instead. Still, his coverage was very in-depth and thorough because such a landmark event warranted it. This was huge because
India's Mars orbiter mission has reached its orbit in Mars. It is a very landmark day. India becomes the first Asian nation to do that.
Whoa! It was also huge because
Becomes the first country in the world to have done it in its very first attempt.
whoa! And it was even bigger because
This Mars orbiter mission carries my fingerprint on it.
whoa! Oh, okay. Jazz hands. Is NDTV the only channel with a science editor? It isn't a bad investment to have in an age where science will make more news than politics. Hopefully. The Mangalyaan mission, or as Z calls it, Chandrayaan, because Moon Mars, same. Cash for votes, coal scam, same. IBN Z, shame. And now same. So the Mangalyaan mission occupied pride of place on Indian news channels as we became just the fourth member of an elite club of countries to have orbited Mars that includes Russia and the United States. Still, the US-based CNN said, "Tum ganda log yahan kya kar raha hai? Cha."
Now imagine a world where one of Earth's worst polluters has ignored the cost to this planet to go exploring another one.
Okay, Christian, enough about the United States. Tell us about India. Seriously though, they were talking about India but failed to mention that while we are number 3 on that list, the United States is number 2 and number 1 China is number 1 because it's manufacturing to satiate the consumption needs of number 2. Then there was the New York Times, who decided to acknowledge India's achievement with this cartoon that pissed off a lot of people for being racist, leading to the newspaper issuing an apology. Now, I don't think it's racist, but it's first worldist. And this one really displays the first worldist view of the white, prosperous, healthy, balding, cigar-smoking white man sitting at the mahogany table saying, "Tao, tu yahan kahan se aa gaya? This is not your aukat. This is our club." So I endorse this cartoon because it exposes them more than anything else. Tao, we are confident enough to laugh. Back in India, the ISRO scientists were the toast of town on all news channels, except India TV, because when they hear toast, they think of butter. And India TV never misses a chance for some makhanbazi. So to hell with the scientists. Somo ya Mangal, it's all thanks to Modi uncle. Modi aane wala hai, Modi aane wala hai. Modi ka mission Mars is not even like he commissioned this project. In fact, when this project was commissioned, the Modi fan club website Niti Central ran this article. Still, any time is a good time to butter up the Prime Minister. If India TV were giving Modi all the credit, Gujarat Headline News tweeted this.
ISRO scientists congratulate PM Modi after he successfully placed Mangalyaan in the Mars orbit today.
This makhanbaji is getting out of hand. You're putting fiction to facts. Come on, guys, get a grip. Yes, you went overboard in trashing him for a decade. Now you're trying to compensate in a few months. कुछ तो balance बनाओ यार. If not the viewers' intelligence, at least do it for the sake of your own dignity. पहले गांधियों को सलाम ठोकते थे, अब मोदी को सामने सजदा करते हो. Then there was the Sera, the triumph of good over evil, the victory of Ram over Ravan, freedom over oppression, light over dark, and apparently folly over better judgment, because this is what ABP News did, and thanks to an alert viewer.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man.
Ram Mandir isn't on the agenda, and this is what he gets for it. So if Modi was Ravan, then who was Ram? Whoa, really? Take heart, Modi ji. Better Ravan than Rahul, right? And Rahul proved exactly that when he said this at his recent rally in Maharashtra, as Times Now showed us.
विपक्ष के नेता कहते हैं कि 60 साल में कुछ नहीं हुआ. विपक्ष के नेता.
Inside a king's head, he will always be king, huh? Or should we say prince? While Rahul might have demoted Modi to leader of opposition, the good news for Modi is that with Rahul hitting the campaign trail, he won't have to work as hard. Now, we have our misgivings about advertiser-induced bias, but on the 6th of October, Times of India pulled off the ultimate stunt to neutralize any bias by putting this on the front page and this on the back page. One thing is clear. While Flipkart and Snapdeal battled it out for sales, the Times of India was the real winner. Now, we don't do advertising because we want to remain free and independent, but for that, we need your help. Will you pay to keep news free, independent and unafraid to say anything at all? In a democracy, the media is supposed to be the watchdog. The watchdog is supposed to be independent. But here we find some watchdogs are subservient to their masters. The master provides for your survival. For some people, it is the government, for some it's ads, and for some it's big industrialists. For News Laundry, it's you. Will you pay to keep news free? Finally, it's time to announce the winner of our caption contest, and this time it's Abid Ahmad. Thank you and congratulations. Make sure to participate in our next contest and you too could get a shout out on Clothesline. Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you saw any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support I Pay to Keep News Free campaign. You've got to. Don't you understand why? Just read the rest of the stuff. Watch television. Then you'll know why you have to contribute to us. Please. I'm not begging, I'm ordering. We are the change. You are the change, for better or worse. Never do nothing. Stay connected, stay online.